Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Laura Daniels, and I'm glad that all of you are here with us today. This is going to be an awesome chance for us just to share more about what is happening behind the scenes with Dairy Girl Network. And also, I want you to take note that later in this webinar, we really want to hear from you. We want to hear if you have any ideas or other ways that Dairy Girl Network could enhance, what you're trying to do in this world, what you're trying to make happen. And so be ready for that open conversation later on. Also, as I said earlier, be sure and go ahead and mute your line. It really helps with the sound quality. I know many of you have very busy backgrounds. We have kids and calves and barns and employees and all sorts of things going on. And while you might be able to focus, some of that background noise can be a little distracting. So, however, we do want you to keep your video on. Please, because we want to be able to see your face. As we're presenting, it helps give us energy. It helps us see sort of where you are. Every once in a while, we'll see a cow or a kid or a calf in your backgrounds, and that really helps us remember that, that there's lots of people out there just like us, right? And that human connection is something I know I am craving very much these days. We can't quite get as much as we once could. And so it's a simple little thing. Please turn on your video. Also, I just want to quickly recognize my hang on just a second here, my co-presenters. And I have with me Amanda Borkowski, who is our interactive media lead. There she is. And oh my gosh, I could go on and on about Amanda. It's kind of one of the things I do. Amanda is a person who brings so much energy to our team and creativity, and there's a reason she is the energy behind our social media. It's because she is so good at connecting people, and she believes so deeply in the causes of Dairy Girl Network. Especially later on, she's going to talk about one that she's especially passionate about. So I look forward to hearing about our programs in Amanda's words a little bit later. And then also I have with me Kristy Pagel, who is the Vice President of Dairy Girl Network. And again, I cannot think of a better person to have side by side as we're out here in the world trying to create opportunity for women. This is something that Kristy Pagel has been passionate about forever. And she has been the recipient of really great mentoring, and now it is just this innate passion within her to be sure that she can do that for so many others. And so Kristy is going to be presenting here with me as well. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Laura Daniels. I'm the president of Dairy Girl Network. Dairy farmer from Wisconsin, and that's probably all that's really important right now, because we want to get to the Dairy Girl Network updates. And yes, and then also I see some chat box messages coming up, and so final reminder, use that chat box. We are really able to have different levels of communication happening when we use the chat box. You can be sharing an idea while we're presenting. Amanda does a great job of capturing the ideas that you share in the chat. So please do that. If you see somebody you recognize in the video, go ahead and give them a shout out. It's a really great way to add a dimension to our conversation. So to kick us off, I asked Amanda to include this slide. It says, reaching women across the nation. And this is always one of the important messages that we keep coming back to, a core message within Dairy Girl Network. And that is that our organization, our goal, our mission, why we exist, is to be able to reach you where you are. wherever that is, whether that's from your work office or your kitchen table or your barn office. We realize that today there are dairy women across the nation who can't always get to meetings in person, not just because of the distance, the geography, but also because so many of you are balancing multiple roles. And to take multiple days away from your family, your farm, your responsibilities, in order to get to those really great conferences or really great informational meetings, it just doesn't always work for you. And so from the beginning, from the inception, Dairy Girl Network has been very focused on reaching you where you are, making sure that we're getting this information and these resources and the human connection to you where you are. This has been particularly important now because even pre-COVID, we had this platform. We had webinars, we had online discussion, robust, energetic online discussion. And so when the world shut down, when everything changed, we were already here. We were already able to reach you. And that has been so important. I know it has been for me to know that you're all there, to know that I can just put a question on Exchange by Dairy Girl Network and know that I'll be able to get those answers, that I'll be able to connect to people who are also just as worried or just as excited about something as I am. And so I always credit Luann Troxel, one of our board members and now our secretary treasurer as well, for helping us see that Dairy Girl Network needed to be not only an in-person organization, and we'll talk more about our Connect events later, but also a virtual one, so that we really could reach you. And we're proud to continue to do that. And so I am going to, sorry, just quick, getting back to my notes. I'm actually going to toss it over to Amanda now, who is going to touch on, as I said, an area that she's incredibly passionate about, and one that I think has been a real game changer for not only us as an organization and our members, but the way Dairy Girl Network shows up across the dairy industry. And so Amanda, I'll toss it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about our program, Stronger Together. So Stronger Together was an idea that came to formation in early 2019. We here at Dairy Girl Network knew how important mental health was, and we really wanted to take some time to create a space for our members to feel comfortable enough to talk about it, as well as provide resources. So with the Helpless and Dairy Girl Network leadership, board members, and staff, we developed this idea to have member-led posts within Exchange by Dairy Girl Network, our private Facebook group. And these posts highlighted the stories of women in our communities and their experiences with behavioral health. We focused all of these efforts during that May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. And to kind of go along with that focus, we also offered 3 webinars on behavioral health that month that were open to the entire industry, not just our members. So after doing all of that and seeing the outpour of support, love, and need for a safe space to talk about these feelings and experiences with one another, we absolutely had to continue this program on and expand it, because mental health is more important than just 1 month out of the year. So the Dairy Women Within Exchange continue to be vulnerable and sharing these very real stories. And each of those stories include coping and healing, sometimes triumph, but always profound bravery. And what I think is the most inspiring aspect of this program is how so many of the members in this group instantly wrapped these women in love and support, and really showed that we are here for each other and that we are stronger together. So after that, we then expanded more and created a behavioral health resource hub, which you can find on our website year-round under the resource tab on dairygirlnetwork.com. The hub is continually updated and categorizes resources from phone numbers and chats, organizations, podcasts, websites, informational group sites, and a ton more. and it's all sorted on behavioral health topics. So now we're in the end of 2020, and Stronger Together continues to grow and morph into a dynamic program with stories being shared each month, and still a heavy focus during May, Mental Health Awareness Month. These member-led stories range on personal topics from depression, anxiety, postpartum depression, things like farm accidents, grief, addiction, divorce, abuse, and so much more. So if you are a member of our private Facebook group Exchange, you can at any time go up to the search bar and search the hashtag Stronger Together to revisit any of these posts and keep watching for more each month. And if you are not a member of Exchange, I will talk about joining a little later in this presentation, but you can find Exchange by Dairy Girl Network by just going to the Facebook search bar. So for Stronger Together, if this program has done anything, it has not only created resources for our members, but a space to talk about some of the most challenging times and feelings that we go through. And we're only seeing those ones that speak up and not the so many of us that read quietly to ourselves. We know how valuable and how important this is for each of us, and we're really looking forward to continuing on and hosting these hard but important conversations, bringing together resources, and hosting webinars for our industry, because I do believe we are stronger together.
Great, Amanda, thank you. For those of you that can't see the chat, I did go ahead and put a message in there. We really want to know what we can do to take Stronger Together to the next level. So if you have any ideas, because we know that, as Amanda said, there's all these resources, but we need to be sure that people know the resources are there. And we also know that we've stepped into a space where a lot of organizations aren't willing to really have that deep level of conversation. And so we're filling a gap. We're filling an important gap when it comes to this throughout our industry. And again, there's a lot of energy and a lot of passion that goes into this for Dairy Girl Network. You could see and hear that with Amanda. And so thanks, Amanda, for everything that you've done with this. On to our next topic, which is Forward Together, our national conference. And Kristy Pagel is going to get us all sorts of updates on this. And before I let her take the stage here, I just have to say, you want to talk about someone who has, I see you, who has found a way to keep shifting and to make sure that this event, with all of the changes necessary, is going to be high impact for our members. The additional time that was required is noticed, Kristy Pagel. So thank you so much for your dedication. And so tell us more, give us all the juicy details.
Yeah, they, just so everybody knows, you know, I would love to talk the whole time about Forward Together, and Amanda and Laura told me I'm limited on what I share. So I do have a tendency to get a little excited, and I do have a little bit of passion around this conference. And I honestly couldn't be probably even more excited for the fact that it is just a little over 3 weeks away. And so there's a little bit of like nervousness that comes into play, right? Because the pressure's building and we got to make sure everything happens and how are we going to do it? And, oh, and by the way, my company won't let me travel anymore. This isn't me, but this happened this week, right? The company I work for, you know, isn't going to allow me to travel into the studio. Hey, that's okay. And you know, here's why. Because Dairy Girl Network has always said, as Laura mentioned, we are here to meet women where they are. And so as things were unraveling very quickly, and the chaos and the uncertainty, and what do we do? How do we proceed? Should we move forward? Should we cancel? What should we do? It became very clear that we really just needed to look at this in the light of, this is a challenge, and you know what? We're amongst great friends, and we're amongst a great team, a great board, and an industry that looks at challenge and says, there will be a way. And so that's exactly what the planning committee did when it came to figuring out how to make the conference happen. And so I'm sure come November 6th, they're going to tell me to go away for a little while because they'll be tired of, you know, multiple weekly check-in calls and all that kind of fun stuff that we've been doing. But what's really pretty exciting is that when you look at the agenda, if you haven't already signed up, okay, I want to just give you kind of a quick sneak peek into what to expect. And even if you are signed up, okay, now is the time because the details are all on our website, okay, for the descriptions of each of the sessions, the bios of the speakers, our sponsors, and all of the information of what's going to happen when over November 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And so the very exciting thing that I want to start off with is that some of you may have seen a very early agenda before we made the announcement to go to a virtual experience with a small in-studio audience. We had a large pre-conference and we had a post-conference. And then we also had this dynamic 2 days, right? Wednesday and Thursday with general session and breakouts. Well, I said, we got to figure out a way to make it all work. And you know what's really cool is that we have found a way to make it all work. So I want to bring to attention is that we have 25 plus speakers. And so of those 25 plus speakers, 10 of those 10 sessions are breakout sessions. It is not very often that from a breakout session standpoint, those are released ahead of time. So you want to make sure that you're taking a sneak peek into this. If you're already registered, if you're not, you want to get registered because we're actually going to be releasing the breakout sessions on October 26th so that you have the opportunity to preview those ahead of time. You can choose one, you can choose all 10. And we've incorporated in for each of those breakout session speakers to have an interactivity Q&A session during Wednesday afternoon. So you will have the chance to ask those questions from the breakout session that you've already previewed. So that's a pretty cool thing. The second thing that I want to bring to light is only because I got a little extra energy here from yesterday's call, is our Tuesday and Wednesday evening activity. For those of you that have attended a Dear Girl Network conference in the past, you know that this is when we do a lot of our networking and our connecting. And so the welcome reception group as well as the Wednesday evening committee have found a way to be able to come into everybody's home and to be able to share 2 very fun activities that are going to take place on each evening. And so being the fact that it is in Wisconsin, the group is moving forward with Flavors of Wisconsin for Tuesday evening. So it's actually going to include some of the tastes and flavors of Wisconsin. I'm not going to tell you exactly what they are, only because it is a little bit of a surprise, but I will tell you that it is something that you can eat and probably drink. And not only that, the people who are going to be coming to you live in the studio to do this, you know what, have a little bit of experience. It's not me, okay? But Dairy Carey surely does have a lot of experience, and I will tell you that Beth Crave from Crave Brother Farms surely knows how to share some really good cheese. So that's just a little snippet, but I will tell you that you definitely want to find a way to be able to tune in for that, without a doubt. And then on Wednesday evening, well, here's the deal. The holidays are coming, right? And who doesn't have in their refrigerator already butter and ice cream, right? Part of what we have to figure out is how do you use what you have? And so Kara Olson is going to be leading us with Alice in Dairyland around some of the flavors of different ways we can make flavored butters, how we can use them. And there is a pretty good recipe for grasshoppers when you have ice cream and how you can make a bucket for those. You're supposed to share them, not enjoy them all yourself. okay? But she's going to go through how to do that. So that'll be Wednesday evening. So if I haven't already kind of shared with you that, yes, you are going to learn, okay, through our general sessions, our breakout sessions. And oh, by the way, did I tell you that there's like 3 or 4 pretty outstanding panels? Luann is actually moderating one of those panels. And I just simply want to say, if you haven't taken the time to sign up or look at the agenda, or even in the standpoint of, gosh, I'm not quite sure this is where I want to invest in myself, it definitely should give you a few minutes to look at it and recognize that if anything in this year, this would be the one thing to do for you, and to invest in yourself, to come alongside other women on farm, in industry, and know that, you know what, we are all in a different place, in a different space this year. So without a doubt, you won't miss out by taking part. And for those that like to get a little more active, Dairy Girl Fitness will be joining us and doing sessions in the early morning as well. So honestly, I can't thank the team that's put this together enough. They have figured out a way. And it is very exciting to see it all come together. The journals are printed, and registration is very strong. So if you haven't registered, please do go get registered, because we do want to do our very best to make sure that we get you the signature journal for the event, and a couple other little surprises that are in there. So I'm going to leave it at that, except for the last little plug that I'm going to put in for all of our national conference sponsors. We could not do this event without their support, without their backing and their trust, and also them recognizing that this organization has the ability to put this together. So you can see them up on your screen. We thank them all for being a big part of this. You will find that if not all, the majority of them will be participating in our virtual showcase. There's a lot of neat things planned around the virtual showcase. So you'll see that as part of the agenda. And some of them are going to also be offering door prizes. The other thing that I will mention as it relates to the virtual showcase that's not on the screen here is that we did have the boutique feature in Pennsylvania, and we will have that again as part of the virtual showcase this year too. So super excited about that. And if you don't want to, attend alone, not a problem. Find 2 other friends and sign up for the watch party, because if you have 3 or more, you get a $10 discount. And even though we might not be able to travel, some of us, are comfortable in coming together with our closest friends, or we might work with people who we come together with. And so there is a watch party feature, and you can sign up for that too. So I have to stop, otherwise I'll keep going, right? And Amanda will give me the hook. So I'm going to stop there. And if you got questions, definitely throw them in the chat feature, or save them for the end. So Laura, that's it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kristy. I'm really excited about the watch party component. I think that, there's so many farms and also like field staff for supporting industry that they have allowed people to get together in very small groups. And gosh, if you work for one of those companies, or if you're the farm where you work, you're in interaction with one another every day anyway. Of course, you're already, technically exposed or whatever. But the thing is that that is just going to be such a fun component, because the interaction, did they just say that? Or, oh my gosh, yeah, I believe that. Or, hey, there's a tip, somebody write that down. Even with a very small group, again, I think that it will enhance what you can get out of Forward Together, our conference. So really looking forward to that. I also want to recognize the conference sponsors. I put in the chat there, Look at this list. These are industry leaders. These are companies that continue to believe in personal development, and literally we could not do this without each and every one of them. As is usual with Dairy Girl Network, not only are they contributing funds, but they are contributing ideas. They are contributing resources. They are contributing speakers. They are contributing information that will help this conference be set apart. So really special thanks to all of them. And I see a couple of questions in the chat. Kristy, you want to pop in on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I always appreciate when there's questions. So let me just, let me run through them real quick. If we chose to attend in person, and that is still is that still an option? So Lauren, yes, if you had signed up prior to when we made the announcement to go virtual, you do have the option to attend in person. I will say, if you have not responded to Renee Norman Kenny's email, I need you to do that today, specifically because we are putting our numbers in. So maybe just follow up with me afterwards, or Renee if you got other questions on that. But I do also want to talk about, is this a virtual conference or is this in person, right? It is a virtual conference. And so why are there still people coming to an in-studio, right? That's really the question. And so even when you have a virtual conference, you still have to have at least a AV person who is running the camera, and you have to have a moderator. So that means you have to have at least 2, and you have to have a location to do that. The Grand Geneva is a very large space. They also have been very top of their game in monitoring and managing with their Clean Care Act pledge that they have around all of this. And we did feel that bringing a small group of individuals, our board of directors, our advisors, speakers that were comfortable, a sponsor representative, and anyone who had pre-registered ahead of time for the conference, not pre-registered, but had registered early. We did want to give them an opportunity to have a choice. Okay, so yes, we will be having a small group that will be coming together, but it is a virtual conference. I can tell you that we're north of 200 registrations already. And so from a conference standpoint of who's coming together, it is a group of less than 50. So it is a small group, very small group that will be together. And so we're monitoring that closely. As of today, we're still able to provide that opportunity. As you might imagine, there'll be all sorts of PPE and measures that we have to take. So hopefully that answers those questions. If not, be sure to let me know. If you miss a live session, not a problem. Everything will be recorded, and you do have the opportunity to plug back in at a later time and a later date. So yes, definitely. Everything that is live streamed will be recorded. Great question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really great. We'll keep watching those questions over there, Kristy, and if we need to bounce back and answer them, that we want this to be completely flexible. And so help, just, give me the hey, and we'll slow it down. Again, everyone who's with us today, if you could help us by, posting online, posting on Facebook that you've registered, share a link, like a conference post that you see. Now that we've pulled all of this together, we just want to be sure that everyone at least knows that this is happening in just a short amount of time. So you can help us with that ripple effect of awareness. And as Kristy said, we already have a great virtual audience who will be joining us. We're also going to have these elements. Kristy talked about the fun ones, but we're also going to have an opportunity for you to ask questions of every speaker, which will be a really dynamic way for you to get your specific question asked. And that's going to be a little different than what some other conferences are offering. And so we're really excited about that as well, because we know you have questions, and that the content that a speaker covers sometimes doesn't always touch on that little piece of information that you really need. So we wanted to be sure that that is also an option. I'm going to move on and cover two other areas of our programming quickly. And the first of those is Connect events. So obviously, we haven't been having any Connect events. For those of you who have normally joined us at World Dairy Expo, which was, of course, our premier event, the place where Dairy Girl Network started. Well, we didn't even have World Dairy Expo. Oh! So, of course, we couldn't get together as Dairy Girl Network either. We are really, really looking forward to when a little bit of the new normal is reestablished, when we can gather together again for networking events. We want to be sure that that you remember we will still do that. We think there's going to be a resurgence of attendance at these events. We believe that our members, you, are going to crave that in-person interaction more than ever. And so we want you to know that when it's time, our Connect events will be bigger and better with more opportunity to build your network than ever. That's a promise we want to make to you now. And I also, last thing on that is just think of all the women who are just starting their career. Those first 3 to 5 years when you're out of school or, you know, just striking out and trying to find your way, trying to find your people, trying to find those key mentors. And now there's no in-person events. Now there's almost no opportunity for that in-person connection. We want you to start thinking ahead and to be sure you show up for those women when we do have Connect events again, because they're going to need to catch up. And you can be an important part of that. We want to create the space for them to catch up on their network. And so remember that. The other area that I wanted to cover is Inspire, which kind of is in the same space. It's our mentoring program, and we have had multiple classes come through, and this has been such an instrumental program for so many. And we want to let you know that it's still happening. Watch for the sign up for when there will be a new class of mentors and mentees matched. And if you are a woman who has 5 to 10 years, probably more like 8 to 10 years of experience or more, we really do need mentors. We have a plethora of women who are seeking a mentor. But when it comes to finding those mentors, we have to ask, we have to go out and find you. And so if you could also watch for those notifications that we're looking for mentors, and believe in yourself, believe in the value that you can bring to someone else and sign up to be a mentor. It's a request that we continuously make, and we hope that you will find a way to answer that for us. And so, Kristy, Amanda, anything to add about Connect or Inspire before we keep moving?
Nope, I just unmuted. I think you alluded to it early on, but I'll just kind of talk about it again as mentors are so critical for lots of reasons, both on a personal level, on a professional development level. And I just know for myself, had it not been for some very great mentors early on, and I even had a conversation with one of my mentors late yesterday, and we talked about a young gal just starting out that he supervises, and I said, she's surrounded around the right people, she's going to be fine. And so if you're at a point where you feel like you're comfortable in mentoring others, I'd encourage you to sign up as a mentor. If you're seeking that part of your bucket, right, to fill, sign up to be a mentee. I still have lots of mentors. I will always have mentors, and I'm grateful for every one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Kristy. I think that's a theme that we hear over and over. I feel the same way. There's so many people who, if they hadn't have spent that, even if it was 10 or 15 minutes, giving me a word of advice or encouraging me, I know my path would be very different. And so, you know, I know Kristy does this, and I do the same thing. If there's a moment to take that time and inspire someone else, we got to do it. And so the Inspire program, it's got a lot of great structure. It is one of the best mentoring programs available out there. And so sign up when you have the chance, either as a mentee or a mentor, whichever you're seeking. So next we're going to move on and recognize the organizations that really make Dairy Girl Network possible. And that is our partners. You know, we have a staff at Dairy Girl Network, an incredibly talented staff. Amanda's with us today. We also have Brenda Gilbertson, as well as Renee Kenny and Andrea Brossard. These are some of the most passionate, talented, and efficient people you will find, but we still have to pay them. And we have to have a financial partnership with organizations who believe in advancing women in order to do what we do. And I want to take the time to recognize each and every one of these on this list. Our sustaining sponsor, which is undeniably Dairy, DMI, and they have been with us a long time. Not only do they promote our products, but they also have all these other programs that they're doing to advance sustainability. Krista Harden is going to be a speaker at our conference. She works with DMI, and actually there's just dozens of leading women who have had a chance to succeed and make a difference for our industry within DMI. And so they're a natural partner for us. They also want to continuously find ways to reach you out there on the farm, in the industry, interacting with producers. And so we're a conduit that can help them do that. And so we're so pleased to have them as a partner. Moving on to our Catalyst sponsors, we've added a lot of new Catalyst sponsors this year. Cargill has been with us a long time as a Catalyst sponsor. So many good things happening within Cargill. They have a diversity and inclusion effort within their company that is has great leadership in Josh Hushin, among others. And so we have dynamic conversation with Cargill about advancing women. And they're able to help us financially. So grateful for that. Compeer Financial, not only are they a sponsor of individual programs, they also do a grant program. They also help us with our books. And again, so many people with energy there, helping us with ideas and helping us with programming. De Laval, you're going to hear from Martha Trott at the conference. Again, you know, finding ways to advance women within the industry as well as within their company. Diamond V has been a sponsor from the get-go, has been instrumental in all of our conferences. The farm program, not only do they care about our organization, they understand that Dairy Girl Network members are the ones who can shift animal care on farm, maybe faster than any others. The entire farm credit system, we need to recognize multiple members of that. And again, across the nation, we are receiving support from Farm Credit. Land O'Lakes, you're going to hear from, again, some of the speakers at the conference. You know, the SheIO, right? They are promoting women farmers at every turn. Merck, Stephanie, who is our contact there, has been instrumental in ideas at the precise moment we need them. And we're so grateful. We're going to be working a lot more with Merck over this next year. And Michael Best, Leah Zimba, is on our board of directors, and she put so much time and energy into our organization with the support of Michael Best, the group of attorneys who work there. these sponsors, among others, we already recognize the conference sponsors as well. Again, can't do any of this without them. So please, please thank the people you know who work for these companies. Okay, so I think the next thing we're going to do is move into more about how you can actually get involved. We are always asking for ideas, but there are some specific ways that you can interact with Dairy Girl Network, and Amanda is going to lead us through that.
Yeah, thanks, Laura. So we have quite a few ways that you can get involved with Dairy Girl Network. Some are highly engaged and some are more lower impact. So the first, and I think most important, is to make sure that you're an official member. It's really easy. Our membership is free. You can just go to dairygirlnetwork.com, and there's a big join button in pink, or there's a join tab you can click on, and it's a free membership, quick and easy form. It'll take you less than 5 minutes. Just kind of grab some information on your interests, if there's specific spots you want to be involved in or not. And when you become an official member, that means the biggest perk, besides getting some exclusive deals and treats on your birthday for free webinars and stuff like that, the big thing is you'll get all of our announcements, all of this sent straight to your email inbox, so you will not miss a beat. Program announcements, conference announcements, are really cool newsletter that we put together that has really good information in it, highlights some dairy women in our industry, highlights programs, has some technical info, all sorts of stuff goes out a couple times a year, and official members get that right to their inbox. So if you're not an official member, I highly recommend you head over to dairygirlnetwork.com and do that. Like I said, fast, free, and easy. Another one, which I talked about quite a bit in the Stronger Together portion, is joining our Facebook group. So it's called Exchange by Dairy Girl Network. You can search for it on Facebook and become a part of it. I do recommend that if you go to join, that you do answer the 3 easy questions to just kind of screen and make sure we are getting, real dairy women that are interested in joining the group And that's what keeps our conversations and all of the things going on in there so valuable. The next thing is definitely follow our social. We make all of our announcements on there, so you can see when programs are being announced or if there's a special event near you, all sorts of stuff like that. We are on Facebook and Instagram. We do some fun stuff on Instagram too. We like to do a lot of reposts and highlight you all. And then new, as of a couple months ago, we are now on LinkedIn. So you can go ahead and follow us on there. If you're already a Dairy Girl Network volunteer, feel free to take us in your experience on your personal page. But we are growing that platform and looking forward to developing it even more robust than what it already is. So you can find us on those 3. Another one, if you have a feeling and you're like, I do really want to get involved and I know what I'm interested in, you can head over to our website and there's a volunteer tab and you can fill out our volunteer form. So this form will ask you questions about your interests and what maybe you have energy to put towards. And whenever we have events come up or special projects or whatnot, we will go to that form and see kind of who fits what we're looking for and reach out if we need that extra help. So that is another great way to really get your foot in the door too. And besides that, I know Kristy is going next and going to really touch on just keeping an eye on everything we have going on. We have webinars that we host almost every month that you can become a part of and join in. Our Spanish program will be relaunching soon. Things like our Inspire program too. We are currently looking for some board of director to join our team. So that application is open right now if you're maybe interested in getting into the higher leadership. But all of our program areas are a great way to kind of get involved with Dairy Girl Network and get acquainted with some of the things we do. So with that, I think I'm going to hand it over to Kristy.
All right, thanks, Amanda. How many, I guess, and I'd like to Thanks, Pat, for joining us. We understand when someone's got to go move heifers or hop off. So it's great to have Pat be a part of today, as well as all of you. So I think when you think about, kind of this next question that I'm going to ask is, how can others get involved, right? So everyone on this call, either you have had some interaction, or maybe this is your first time you're hopping on an enhanced webinar and you wanted to learn a little bit more about Dairy Girl Network. Maybe you've attended, lots of things that Dairy Girl Network has put together over the past several years. And so I want you to think a little bit about, who do you know that isn't already involved or taking advantage of the tools, the resources, the connection, the network of resources and people within Dairy Girl Network. And I really want you to think about those 1 or 2 or 3 individuals that, as you kind of listened and you thought about the mentor program, or you thought about, hey, there are some pretty good, neat technical topics that are covered in our monthly sessions. Or, I kind of would like to go to that conference and attend it virtually, but I don't really want to do it alone. Who's that friend or that person that maybe you can sign up with, right? And I really want you to think about who those individuals might be that could just use kind of that new circle, or that new resource, or that new tool. And so Dairy Girl Network, as we've said it before, and we'll say it again, is about reaching women where they are. So I just want to put that out there for you to think a little bit about, particularly as you look at all the different resources, and our website is a great place to tap into everything that we do. And Amanda did mention our exchange page, as well as being on LinkedIn and Instagram too. So lots of ways to find us. And our board of directors is also always accessible along the way too. So Laura, I'm actually going to turn it back to you, if we can, to kind of open it up for some discussion.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Kristy and Amanda, very much for touching on many of our programs. And I know Luann is with us here today too. Anytime we have a group of members who are interested in joining a conversation like this, we also trust that you have ideas as well. And there have been some of those ideas popping up in the chat. And so Michelle Shambo, I am going to call on you, and thank you for having your camera on so I can see your face there. Hello. Maybe we'll start with that idea that you posted about tagging different topics in order to make them quicker to find. That was what I was reading into your message, but go ahead and unmute your line and maybe just share with us a little bit more about what you're, I know it's just popped into your head, but what that might achieve and what the goal would be there.
I love the exchange. I've definitely used it. I've also muted it because it comes through a lot of stuff, just being fully transparent. So I think for me, some of the things that would be beneficial is just that ease of finding something, specifically in regards to HR or people things. Then I don't ask something that's already been asked, or can reference what maybe someone else asked in a different way.
Yeah, Amanda, I'm gonna toss this over to you, because I think this is a topic we've discussed several times, and I think we're trying to find the best way to make this efficient. And Luann has been such a great advocate of the search option. However, if you don't get the exact right words, sometimes that you can still miss really great information. My question for you, Amanda, is if we put a hashtag with like HR or CAF, whatever, in the comments, would the original post show up in a search for that hashtag, or only the comment? Do you happen to have an idea on that, Amanda?
Yeah, so I'm pretty positive. So if you searched that hashtag or that word and it was in a comment, the comment is what will pop up in the search, but right above it, it should say like on so-and-so's post. And then you can click on the
Okay.
post button to see the original post that that comment is under.
Yeah, I think that could achieve two things, because it would get, if as staff and board members and Michelle, interactive volunteers, our members that really want this resource to be more useful. If we would start putting those hashtags in the comments, I think it would catch on. People would notice, oh, I should add this hashtag to my post because it's a post about human resource management, or it's a post about calves. I'm going to put the tag in the original post. And if not, we'd still have it there in the comments. And we know hashtags are a more efficient way to organize the information than just a straight up word search, although the word search does work as well. So Amanda, anything else you want to add to that? Just the whole idea of organizing all of these incredible ideas.
Yeah, I just want to say I think the hashtag idea is really good. Somewhat recently, we've been playing around with the topics on Facebook. I'm not sure if everyone has seen that, because if you're not looking for it, it's pretty easy to miss. But in the group, you can put a post in a specific topic that us admins have put together. So at the moment, we do have a Stronger Together topic. And then in the heat of COVID in the spring, we also made a COVID topic. And something, being fully transparent that was a challenge there is when a member is posting, it's really easy to bypass that option of clicking a post topic for your post. So I think the hashtag is a more straightforward and easy way to get everyone involved on that. So I think that's a really great idea, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you. What else? Who else has something to share?
I want to just follow up on what Michelle said real quick, because I think this is a great idea. I refer back a lot of times, like I've spoken before, but coming up is Christmas. And I remember, like, in the past, there's been all these great ideas of where I can buy something. But, if I'm not looking for it at that time, I'm not going to remember what to search for. I'm kind of curious how I can go back and find some of those cool resources for shopping sites or leggings or boots or, I don't know. I'm not sure, because, there's a plethora of information on Exchange. I'm telling you, it's loaded. And I think really cool cow items, because, I don't know. We sold our live cows, but we have a heck of a lot of real of not so real ones around here. And I'm always looking for more, and I want cool ones, not cute ones. I want real looking cows, So I'm picky about what kind of cows I get. So anyway, that just, again, if there'd be a way to zero in, I don't even know how to search for that. If you search cow, you know how many things are going to come up? So anyway, I think it's interesting to figure out what those subjects are that we could zero in on, because I love the search option. I do use it, but it's still, like Laura said, you don't get everything. But anyway, there's so much great information on Exchange. We have to find a way to harness it. I think that is true, and make it a little more efficient for looking. Those are really, really, I'm really glad we're talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see in the chat that Lauren added there that this is something that within the organization that she works for, they have to do often, which is let people know how to do the search. Lauren, can you, is that a post within a discussion group, or do you include that in like a newsletter? Or, I mean, if you're able to unmute and just share with us a little bit more the interval and sort of how you do that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, my internet's kind of shoddy, so can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
So we have a podcast that is sent out to our members, and a lot of our members are very interested in listening to it, but they didn't know how. So we had to do we sent it out via email, and we put it on our website, a visual how to. So if you have an iPhone, this is how you download a podcast on an iPhone, and this is where you can find us. And if you have an Android, this is where you find it. And we also have to do that a lot of times. We have a lot of resources on our website, and so we have to do that oftentimes with our website as to, here's our coronavirus resources. This is how you find it. Click here with arrows and pictures. And I think that if you were to do it on Facebook, on the group, I mean, you could just put together some kind of visual where if this is how we're going to do it, here's the steps that you have to take.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know that's something we've talked about, and Amanda, I know it's something that we've done, is had posts with the how-to. I think we just need to increase the interval and do a little more brainstorming on the hashtag idea. Great. Anybody have any other, it can be anything, like, hey, Dairy Girl Network, why don't you do this? Or I know that this is a program that you've done in the past. Where did it go? I'm going to, Michelle's got, oh yeah, the Hispanic component to grow and allow more growth while increasing. Yeah, so Michelle, that's a topic that that keeps coming up from time to time. And right now what we're doing is really starting to gather information. How can we reach the Latina women who are so instrumental in our industry? And why are they not already members of Dairy Girl Network? And maybe some are. And how do we reach them? How many of our resources need to be in 2 languages? These are all questions that it is on the front burner. We're trying to figure out the best way for us to use the resources that we have to make the highest impact. So it's really good to know that you are interested in this topic as well, because that's part of what we're doing right now is making a short list of people who, even if you're not on a committee, even if you don't have the time to give us to create some of the resources, somebody we can run this by. Does this make sense? So know that that conversation is happening. Yeah, great. Thanks, Michelle. This is exactly the kind of thing that we need to have this open air space for, so we can know that that is important to you and others. Awesome. Anybody else? Ideas, topics?
Kid safety on the farm, because there's lots of kids that are wandering around.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it really is. And a topic that we have not spent a lot of time on. And we have members who are really passionate about that and would be willing to contribute to a discussion about that. So I think, great, there we go. Let's add that to the list. Anybody, anything else? Otherwise, we are at 1 o'clock. We knew this hour would go so fast, and it definitely has. I want to thank all of you for being with us today. Thanks to Amanda and Kristy for helping do this overview. I think it was great. I think this recording, hopefully we can get a lot of use out of it as we're helping people see what Dairy Girl Network does throughout the year, and especially now with the conference coming up. So anybody, anything else? Otherwise, I think we're going to say bye-bye for today. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.